Hi everyone, welcome to Water Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is the Tier 5 French light tank, the AMX ELC bis, or BIS, bis, B. The AMX ELC, that's what it's always going to be to me, the Tier 5 French light tank is. It's a Tier 5 French light tank, one of the most popular Tier 5 light tanks in the game, with a pretty punchy gun. It takes a while to reload. Some people like to use this tank like an autoloader. Like a tank destroyer. Of course, AP rounds are standard. 240 hit points of damage. That's a massive alpha damage for a Tier 5 tank. 120 penetration. APCR rounds will give you 150. And this replay has been sent to me by Reitei67 from Screw Clan. I hope I've pronounced it correctly. And you can see that Reitei is running the 100 octane gasoline, extra 5% to engine power and turret reverse speed, which is very, very handy for getting around quickly if that's what you need to do. But at the moment, On Cliff is kicking back, looking for a bit of a cheap shot on the enemy Tier 5 light tank, the Leopard. He's kicking back, just looking at the hill. You can see the MT25, the top tier 6 light tank, is spotting the hill quite well, keeping that Leopard lit. The Stritzwagen M42 is near the cliff base as well, but the enemy tanks, you can see a lot of enemy tanks pushing up towards the western flank, up around the cliff, and that's a place that I like to go sometimes on cliff. If I'm looking for a bit of a brawl, there's always a few enemy tanks there. As Reitei or Reitei, I don't know how do you say it, but anyway, Reitei for 67 from Screw Clan looks for some cheap shots towards those enemy tanks. At the moment he's aiming towards the KV1. The KV1 of course is on the lower level down at F2, but he's waiting for these other tanks that were last spotted up here to pop out. But it looks like that OI Experimental, which was the only tank that was really spotting that part of the map, has been taken out of the game. The MT25 on the enemy side pushing towards the T67 and the Toaster tank. It's a tank that I just can't pronounce, and Reitei looking for some cheap shots into those tanks. That AMX 12T, I think he might be behind that building, son. There's no way you're going to land that shot. I know what you're thinking. It's a bit of a slow start in this game. There you go. There you go. There's his first kill of the game. 5-2 the score on Cliff as he waits for that gun to reload. Nobody was going to spot him from back there. He's back there with the FV302. Tier 6 British artillery piece as he puts a nice shot for 235 damage into the Tier 5 Russian medium tank, the T-34, the T-34, not to be confused with the Tier 8 American heavy tank, the T-34. Shoots me to no end how Wargaming keep giving these tanks similar names. Confuses me like you would not believe. 6-2 the score now on Cliff. At the moment it's looking like a pretty comfortable victory, and I think that's why the tanks on Reitei's team going forward hell for leather. But you can see pretty much the whole enemy side are down that western flank. They're all just getting lit now. Unfortunately, they're getting lit by these lightly armoured tank destroyers, the T-67 and the Toaster tank. And of course, they've got no chance of blocking any shots there. The KV-222, probably the most overpowered Tier 5 tank in this battle anyway. He is just happy just to kick back over here. No idea why he isn't just making a beeline straight for these enemy tanks. Maybe he's on low health. No, he's on full health. He's looking for the FV304. Have a look at that KV-220. Picked up the ram kill on the enemy tank, but is needed over this side of the map. We just missed Reitei putting a shot into the Chaffee, but that's going to be a challenge to penetrate. So decides against it. Decides to keep these tanks lit rather than shoot. It would be challenging to not only penetrate but hit. Of course, the French gun is not the most accurate gun in the world. That'll penetrate, no worries at all. Puts a nice shot into the T-34, and the MT-25 picks up the kill. He knows he's going to be lit, so move back behind the rock before his 6th sense went off, because he doesn't want that AT-8 Tier 6 British tank destroyer to be chipping away at his lightly armoured AMX ELC. 8-6 the score now. He's on 730 hit points of damage, plus a little bit of assistant. Is keeping that AT-8 lit, but nobody really killing it as the KV-220-2 got taken out by the Chaffee. And I'd have a look at this Chaffee. He's doing a bit of a boost there. Reitei does the right thing. Picks up the kill on the Tier 5 American light tank. Pulls back again because he's been lit. His 6th sense has gone off. He's on APCR rounds now because there's some heavily armoured enemy tanks, namely the AT8, but also that KV1 could be a challenge, and he doesn't want to be bouncing any shots, especially with his long reload on his French light tank. 10-9 the score now. He's on 771 hit points of damage. He's looking for a shot on that Ike tank, the Swedish tank destroyer. Fires blindly into the bushes. Doesn't look like he hit him. He's on 210. That's a one shot. Remember, these shells do 240 average damage, so he's a one shot for him. That's the advantage of the AMX ELC. Got a critical hit on that tank, and the VK2801. Tier 6 German got killed, and that's the guy who he was carrying this game. He was on 3 kills. 11-10 the score. Now they're still up by a tank, but what kind of health are his teammates on? His M4's on 132 hit points. The MT25 on 301. And believe it or not, Reitei at the moment is the tank with the most hit points. KV1 and the AT8 both last spotted down here on this western flank. The MT25 gets taken out by the AT1, so Reitei knows that his gun is going to be aiming north. So it's coming around here. He wants to put. It's going to take more than one shot to kill him, though. He'll be hoping that's the back. No, he's turning around. It was just angled a little bit too much. No artillery on the enemy side, so he knows he's not going to get shot on from above. The M4 moving forward. Looks like he's trying to be a hero. He doesn't want to be. Picked up 220 hit points of damage on the KV1, assisted damage, and you can see that Su-85 moving towards the M44 back at spawn. The M4 gets done by the AT8. Trying to take that AT8 on frontally was a big mistake, as Reitei67 from Screw Clan has decided to put his carry pants on, and he's got to get behind this AT8. I'm moving him. That shot didn't go through. Artillery shoots and just misses. Tier 6 British tank destroyer, and Reitei trying to stay away from that British gun, and he'll be wondering about the IKV 103, who was last spotted back here at base. Looks like artillery put a little bit of damage onto the AT8, and Reitei trying to make it as hard as possible for the IKV to hurt him. Puts another shell in and gets a little bit of assisted damage as well. That's why he got 300 there. 98 was assisted damage from the artillery. Of course, the artillery is the FV304, so the FV304 is chipping away at it nicely, and Reitei picks up his 3rd kill, getting rid of the top tier British heavy tank. No more tier 6 tanks on the enemy side, and looks like Bert the Avenger's having a red hot go at that IKV 103. No artillery pieces on the enemy side, and Reitei knows KV1 was last spotted back here. The Su-85 back at the spawn. He picks up his 4th kill, getting rid of the IKV 103 tier 5 Swedish tank destroyer, and now runs back into the middle of the map to try and cut off anything that might be going to push on the FV304 if they know where he is. 4 kills to Reitei67 from Screw Clan, 1,443 damage plus 549 assisted damage, and now he's looking for that Su-85 tier 5 Russian tank destroyer and the KV1. That KV1 will be a challenge to penetrate. That's why he's still got APCR loaded. He's got 5 rounds left. That should be enough. I can't remember what kind of hit points these two tanks were on. I know the Su-85 did get hit when he was going for that artillery. I don't know if it was artillery that hit him or if it was somebody else who was sort of skirmishing in this central part around the donut. Moving along this ridge line, keeping vision towards the base. He should be able to spot the base from there quite comfortably. It's got a decent view range on the Tier 5 French light tank. Looking down towards where he thinks that Su-85 might be. 2 versus 2 now. They were down by about 4 tanks, I reckon, maybe even 5. Not so long ago. 5.5 minutes left in the battle. He's on 1443 damage done, 549 assisted damage, and he's looking for a kill shot on that Su-85, or at least some vision. Lucky enough to be on full health, and that's the value of a light tank on full health towards the end of the game. You can really carry matches, and if need be you can cop a shot or two. The KV1 I'm pretty sure has only about 100 alpha damage, so it's going to take the KV1 3 or 4 shots to kill Reitei67 in his AMX ELC. The Su-85, I'd be guessing what his alpha damage is. I wouldn't have a clue. I'd say maybe 200, but that's purely a guess. 4 kills, 1443 damage done. Is looking for that SU-85, trying to proxy spotting around this ridge line. No idea where he might have gone. I don't think it's the slowest tank destroyer in the world. I'm tipping he might have gone back down here because there was a bit of action around the donut. Maybe that's where the SU-85 was heading. And Reitei moving down the 1-2 line, looking for these last 2 remaining tanks, the Tier 5 Russian heavy tank, the KV-1, and the Tier 5 Russian tank destroyer, the SU-85. They're both on 2 kills, both the enemy teams on 2 kills, so safe to say they're no slouches. They probably know what they're doing. You'd imagine the view range of the AMX ELC would clearly be better than a Russian tank destroyer or heavy tank. Russian tanks not known for their view range, heavy tanks and TDs anyway. As he keeps moving forward, slowly wins it. He's got 4 minutes left, plenty of time to kill 2 enemy tanks. And that FV304, he's already proven that he's on the ball. He was shooting that AT8 like there was no tomorrow when Reitei was keeping him lit up just a few minutes ago. Still moving forward, probably needs to go back into the middle of the map to get the maximum view range. No idea. It was a long time ago that KV-1 and the SU-85 was spotted. So he could be absolutely anywhere by now. Searching for these tanks like there's no tomorrow. He knows he's on a good start. He knows he's certainly done his job for his team. He wants to turn this good game into an absolute ripper. On Cliff, moving down further and further south. Spots the KV-1. His 6th sense hasn't gone off. There's the KV-1. He's got his side. The KV-1 happy just to sit there. Reitei fancies himself to still be unspotted there. The FV304 picks up the kill. And it's another 145 assisted damage to Reitei67 from Screw Clan. Just over 2.5 minutes left in this match. And you'd comfortably say that he's covered the central part of the map. Maybe that SU-85's gone all the way back to his base. And maybe he's just sitting on the cap. What's Reitei going to do? Just under 2.5 minutes left until the timer goes out. Is he going to decide to go for the sneaky cap? The SU-85 will certainly know that the KV-1's been killed, that's for sure. Safe to say the SU-85 is not in that corner. It could be absolutely anywhere, the Tier 5 Russian tank destroyer. There's the 2-minute siren. Reitei really must feel like he's out of ideas. The siren's certainly woken him up, saying stuff this. I'm just going to cap this, make him come to me. There it is. The FV304's spotted the Tier 5 Soviet tank destroyer. He gets on the cap, turns to aim. Oh, he doesn't quite have a shot yet. The FV304 does exactly the right thing and comes down. Reitei puts a beautiful shot into the top of the SU-85. The SU-85 goes for the ram kill, but the FV304 gets a brilliant ram kill himself and picks up the last kill of the game. Let's have a quick look at the post-game battle results. It's an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge for Reitei67 from Screw Clan, the Bruiser Medal, Fighter, 5 for Effect, Orlix Medal for killing 2 or more TDs that are a higher tier, and of course the high caliber for carrying the shit out of that one. 1,965 hit points of damage, 4 kills, which was almost, apart from the FV304, comfortably more than double what anyone else on his team did. The AT8 had a pretty good game with 1,200. And the Chaffee as well on the enemy side, but nobody else really stepping up. He fired 16 shots, 14 hit, 11 did damage, and that was enough for an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge. It cost him a few credits though, nearly 36,000 credits with a standard account. Even with a premium account would have cost him 22,000 credits in that 13-minute game, where most of the ammunition he fired was a PCR round, let's be fair. But an absolute ripper from Reitei67 from Screw Clan in the AMX ELC. Thanks for the replay, Reitei. I'm stewiejp. You're not. Take care and see you all next time.